Joining us now is former New York State Senator David Carlucci, a Democratic strategist. David, it's always good to have you on the show. This was a pretty remarkable moment in the Oval Office when Trump directly accused Obama of treason. And then to see Obama and his team issue a very rare and sharp response. Where is this going from here, and what's standing out to you right now?
Yeah, well, what's standing out is just how Donald Trump is just desperately trying to divert attention. And what's just really remarkable about this is that he has the gall to stand there and make these accusations of a former president with no evidence whatsoever. He's claiming that these documents exist. Wait, sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like the Jeffrey Epstein case that was promised we would get these documents, but then he put his thumb on it and wouldn't let the public see any of these documents? It is remarkable. It is remarkable. And I know Donald Trump has gotten away with this time and time again, but I just don't see how he gets out of this one because these allegations are just so glaringly hypocritical. To make one statement, but then refuse. It's like, hey, sunlight's the best disinfectant, but we're going to put blind spots wherever we want. So I think this is eroding the trust that Donald Trump has within his party. And it's obviously stirring up Democrats and independents around the country, just being very concerned about where this administration is going.
Let me pop up this tweet for you, David. This is from Democratic Representative Jim Hines, who responded on X to the accusations. And he said this is a lie. And if he's confused, the president should ask Marco Rubio, who helped lead the bipartisan Senate investigation that unanimously concluded that there was no evidence of politicization in the intelligence community's behavior around the 2016 election. What do you think Marco Rubio's response to this is about to be? And do you think this issue in particular is about to cause another schism within the Republican Party?
Well, I think Marco Rubio is a skilled politician, and he's succumbed to whatever Donald Trump wants. So he's become a very good lapdog. If Donald Trump says jump, he just jumps. He doesn't ask any more questions anymore. So I think Marco Rubio will find a way to finesse this to benefit his boss, Donald Trump. And that's what we've seen. The people around him that have any experience, the work that they've done has been thrown to the wayside. They've changed the whim at the whim of the president. They'll change their complete career trajectory to support Donald Trump. And they're willing to do whatever they have to do that. Credibility aside, they just see that if there's any daylight between them and the president, they're history. And they don't want that to happen. So I think this is obviously just a distraction. We have to talk about President Obama right now. President Obama had to put out a statement. I'm glad that he did, to not let this baseless information go out there. And if it is true, then do us a favor, Mr. President, show us the information.
Well, that is the interesting thing, that he's now added to the list of documents that people want to see, on top of the Epstein files. Speaking of, let me pivot to that while I still have you. David, the DOJ is now seeking a meeting with Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, and the House Oversight Committee voting to subpoena her. And then Mike Johnson, sending everybody home early for summer recess. So this all gets punted to September now, I guess. But former Epstein lawyer David Schoen telling NewsNation that probe is likely going to go nowhere. Take a quick listen.
I don't know what they're looking for. There's no client list. There's no list in which Jeffrey Epstein documented such and such a young woman being with this person, wealthy and famous person. Doesn't exist. And there have been many false accusations out there.
Yeah. So, David, what reaction do you see on both sides if this leads to more dead ends? And then just, because you are a Democratic strategist, let me just ask you this. Does it discredit Democrats at all who are so interested in pushing for the release of these files when the previous administration could have done the same thing?
Well, I don't think it does, because what's happened is the Trump administration has promised this. We've heard the comments from Pam Bondi that she had these documents on her desk. She had to later retract what she said or clarify it. So this is the making of the Trump administration. And this is what happens when you fan these conspiracy theories. You fan the flames, and this is what happens. So if there is any type of wrongdoing, I mean, like this Epstein lawyer had said just before me here, that all these documents should be released. And that's where this problem lies. That
So why wouldn't have President
infested.
Biden done that? Why wouldn't it, if there are documents and people have been interested in the case for a long time, why wouldn't have he said,
Well, because President
Biden,
he wasn't making this an issue. It was Donald Trump and his team that this is a big part of what they talked about. And they just had this Epstein name out there in the salacious case, and they wanted to draw Democrats to it. These are the comments that are made, just like what President Trump said the other day about President Obama. These false claims, throw them out there, cause distraction. If there's any type of a legitimacy to it, if people can see, oh, that might be true, it gives his supporters some hope. And this is the problem here. But I think when we talk about the politics, I think it's just devastating for Republicans, particularly in the House, with the speaker saying, look, we're going to put partisanship above everything else. And we're actually going to stop the important work that we have to do because of this, because they're fearful of allowing these documents out. That's extremely problematic. I think Republicans are already headed off a cliff towards the midterms and the elections that are happening this year. But this is exaggerating that problem that the Republicans have, just unwilling to do the people's business and doing the president's business above all else. And that's
we'll
a problem.
See what comes next and how it impacts things next year. I got to end it there, but David Carlucci, as always, thank you for your time, sir.
Appreciate it with you.